Hey, okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for helping to record, first of all. And this is class 11. Today is the 10th of April, 2025. So let's start with setting our motivation. So get ready, close your eyes, sit comfortably. And let's focus on our breath for a while. Just observe your breath till you hear from me again. Now, I invite you to think about your current situation, the challenges that you're facing, and now think about the perfect world that you would like to see. And recognize that what we are going to learn today will help us to reach from where we are, point A, to point B, where we would like to be. And that is possible because everything is empty. They're coming from our mental seeds. I make a commitment, promise that you will use what we are going to learn today. We are going to use it in our life. We are going to help make this perfect world. And that is the payment for the class. And with that motivation, this motivation will underlie our conversation today. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, today I want to do a review of the previous chapters, and if we have time, then we'll go into chapter 10. Okay, so help me to understand, help us to understand. So chapter 1, if you remember, we start off with understanding learning ACI 4. Logic is so important because, yeah, like for me, I come from the culture, I already know, we heard of past and future lives, we know Nirvana, Buddha, all these things. I think in Asia we have that. But to be very honest, how much do I truly believe that? It's coming from my past seeds, right? But those seeds will also be gone. And when things get really hard, I can just give up. Who cares? Future life. That shows that I don't have a strong basis for my understanding. So learning logic helped to strengthen my understanding, our ability to see things that we cannot see. Yeah, and with a strong basis, we will be able to hold our grounds and know why, help us in choosing our behavior. And so we start off with learning, we say valid perception, right? What is valid perception? You want to type in Sanskrit and Tibetan, valid perception, which is just a normal, unaffected perception. Yeah, I'm going to say Sema. Sema is a Tibetan word for valid perception. And Pramana, Jaslyn also wrote the Sanskrit Pramana. So Sema or Pramana, they are the same valid perception. Okay, yes, correct. And so why is that important? We say that learning valid perception is important because the Buddhist definition of existence is that which is perceived by a valid perception. So when we perceive things with valid perception, we validated their existence. And then we learn about the background, right? The source. One good thing about our lineage, I noticed, I don't appreciate when I was a student. They always talk about the source, the name, blah, 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 blah. I said, now I don't want to know. Just tell me one name. I don't want to know who lah, when lah, what is their book. Then I realized how important it is to have an authentic lineage, how it has been passed down. And I start to appreciate and really appreciate our lineage. And it's so precious. I never see that when I was a student. And now I see, wow, you see, this is not that somebody just go to a class and blah, blah, and say anything, So we have a lineage based on this. This is what they say. This is the book. Okay, and we trust the system, how they have been keeping it so pure. And if we learn ACI 1.4, remember how we keep the books pure. We have the Tengyo and the Kengyo. We have the one spoken by the Buddha, and we have the commentary. So we separate that. Okay, we separate that. And my teacher always tell me, when you share the Dharma, You share it the way it is being passed down. And if it is your point of view, you have to say, this is what I think. Okay. This is how I look at it. This is how I understand it. Yeah. So that is very important. So I try to keep it very, very strictly pure. And when I give examples, I normally confirm with my teacher. Okay, I explain it in this way, how I picture that. Is that correct? Is that all right? Yeah. So yeah, that is fine. So I don't use, and I encourage you also to always use back the same examples that we see until you understand it so well. You can use some other example, you know, like we always come back to the pan story. We always come back to the two husbands in the kitchen. Correct or not? When you want to learn something, always go back to that. Try to figure out why they say that, why they say that. For me, that's how I learn. Why they say that? Why are they talking about this example? And I see, some students, like you learn something, immediately they give me their example, they give me another one, they give another one. And that is very difficult because we don't have all the circumstances, you know. What you say may be correct or may not be correct. I'm not able to say. So we always use back the same example first until we understand the concept, why they say that. Oh, yeah, understand that. Then you can create not just a pen story, you can talk about any story, you can talk about another story as long the concept is there. So we have this very authentic lineage, logic. We talk about the grandfather, Dignaga, Master Dignaga. Then we have the father, Dharmakriti. Then Gausabje, I won't mention about that. You will learn, right? We have the lineage. So we talk about the lineage and the books and their books. And then we mention about very important that they learn logic when they were 12 years old, 13 years old in the monastery. Study this book called Dura. And those are about all existing things. They categorize them. Okay. And then they talk about all existing things. Definition. In our Xuanzang Tower, mixed nut, you can refer to teacher Adam. He's an expert on that. I think he translated books on logic. And there's another one on Chi Chedra. Three things, all the categories of all existing things, definitions, Chi Chedra. Chi Chedra. Okay. Quality and characteristics. And the study of Chi Chedra is so important because it is a study of how we make mental image in our mind. And that is the key to seeing emptiness directly. And I'm still struggling with that, learning with that, to be very honest. I've been always thinking about that. And that is so important. We know the story of the old Mongolian monk who is dying. I mentioned about that. And I really remember that. And that really helped me to understand why logic is important. And he was holding on to this Logic Dura book, 12-year-old book. Imagine you're holding to your Standard 6 book, like Malaysia here is Standard 6, that Dura book. And he said, this is what I want in my mind when I pass on. So something for us to think about that. And that is important. I remember Raymond say that this is something that struck him. Yeah. Because I was asking each one, what is the thing that make an impact to you? And that was what Raymond said. And in chapter 1, we also talk about Gao Subject to show how important the topic of logic. He said that Gao Subject is the two disciples, right, of J. Tsongkhapa, the one on the left. He said the kindest thing that J. Tsongkhapa ever did for him was to teach him logic. Yeah, because there's things that we cannot see. And through logic, we are able to strengthen our third eye to see things that we cannot see. and grow our ability to think clearly. Clear thinking, logic, another way. Sometimes if you don't like the word logic, you can think of that as clear thinking. When you have logic, you have clear thinking. Your mind is clear. You can see clearly. Then you can imagine the choices that you made, the decision that you make would have been maybe very different. And we close with the Lord Buddha's statement that says that I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. So we have some debate on that. What do you mean by that? You say, right? What this judgment, this thing, right? So I have a story. I go and study again overall today. Today I actually have a climate governance, national climate governance summit. I didn't go for day 4 because I want to stay at home and do this. Day 5 I will attend. It's in Bank Negara Malaysia, our national, what is that called? National Bank, something like that. Yeah. So there's this story, why Lord Buddha said, I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. It comes from the quotation. Atisha, in his commentary, he mentioned about this quotation. I didn't read the scripture, okay? So I take from there. This is what Lord Atisha said. He quote in his Tangyo. He said that, I cut short the story so long. Okay, so you have these monk number one. Okay, monk number one was made the regent. He was made the regent. There's certain monk in the monastery who was made the regent. And then he later on decided to go to the city and teach normal people. You know, those days they cannot teach normal people, isn't it? They stay in the monastery far away from the city. Then there's a second monk, monk number 2. And then he was like, they go to the city, go and teach the normal people. Then he went and see. And he saw this monk number 1 with his followers. They are teaching the lay people, right? Teaching them bodhicitta, teaching them dharma. Then he saw one of the followers was touching a lady, the hand, And they said, no wonder they don't want to go begging. They go to the city and teach dharma. So he went back to the monastery and then he said, monk number 1 is very corrupt. They're bad. So they had a meeting. After that said, no more, cannot go to the city. So the regent, he actually stayed out. He didn't go to the city anymore out of respect and also to avoid the split in the Sangha. Okay, then everything peaceful. After some time, then that, those people, they were not taught Dharma, right? Nobody getting Dharma teaching, nobody getting this bodhicitta teaching, and things start to get like collapse, get worse. Then he said, I cannot stay away anymore. And he decided to avoid the split in the monastery, in the Sangha community. He moved out of the monastery. He moved out. And then the reason is because he want to teach the lay people, right? He want to teach them Dharma. Then the conclusion, the second monk died, and then he go to hell, billion of lives for having assumed this about the region without knowing, means having made that accusation against monk number 1. And then he lose for millions of lives. He also lost his robes, means that he became monk. Then he lost his robes. He lost his monkhood. He lose his not able to become a monk. And for many years, he also born as very stupid person who cannot understand any Dharma. So did I cannot understand Dharma? Did I also want to do something like that? No, it just struck me, when I was reading that. And then Lord Buddha said, that person was me. Okay, that monk number 2, it was me. And then he said that the regent is not the normal person. And then that monk, number one, he actually became a Buddha for few millions years ago. So he was much earlier, became a Buddha. So the conclusion is, that's why this is how much that we can see. We don't really know, right? We don't know that person. We don't know their motivation, but we like to blah, blah, blah and talk. And then we like to talk bad about people, excluding people, judging people. I find that I got this problem very serious and I'm trying to overcome that, I know. Yeah, now I know why people talk bad about me. Okay, that is the thing. Yeah. So the mind like to, somehow you come to the conclusion, the assumption, and then you will start to think bad about that person. And then you do certain actions, that is not so kind. Then you start to say some words that are not so kind. And then when you meet other people, you start to have, you start again the story, make it even bigger. Okay. Yeah. Welcome, Raymond. So that is the thing for us that is why the Lord Buddha have this quotation. Yeah, I think this quotation is very important, not only for this class. I will move to my new house very soon, and I'm going to have one library for all the Dharma books, and I want this word somewhere on the wall. Yeah, if I could, yeah. Because it is a reminder how logic helped me to choose my behavior more wisely. Okay, so that is chapter 1, okay? Chapter 1, okay, yeah? So chapter 2. Chapter 2 will be the 3 levels of reality. Ellen is not here. Actually, I wanted to tell Ellen, if you could watch the recording, you take the challenge, and I can spend time to sit down with him one by one if he got questions. Will he take the challenge? Ellen, are you listening to the recording? You're listening to the recording. You watch the recording. I'll be there. Okay, 1-to-1 for you. If not, I won't answer the questions. Okay, so 3 levels of reality is very interesting. Do you remember the 3 levels of reality? Obvious, hidden, deeply hidden. Correct or not? Ngungyo, Kokgyo, Shinto-Kogyo. Ngungyo, Kokgyo, Shinto-Kogyo. So obvious reality, from the word obvious, we know things that I am aware that I can see and aware of, thoughts that I'm aware of. Okay, I can directly perceive, no problem. Hidden reality, from the word hidden, I cannot see. So I can have to think it out. I have to think it out. I have to use logic. Okay, the example would be, I like to use emptiness. Correct or not? So Kashila taught us pen. I look at it as a pen. Puppy look at it as a chew toy. The whole story from the logic. I can see emptiness intellectually. Okay, by deduction. So as subtle impermanence. But if you go into very, very deep meditation, you can actually have a direct yogic perception of this subtle impermanence, that you're able to see that how things are being destroyed. Is it called destroy? How things are being destroyed by the second? Nothing lasts more than a second. And that is my experience in Vipassana meditation retreat. I truly wow. I wrote to my teacher. I said, that is so different from what I hear in somewhere here, somewhere, I always say. But that is not the way. I said, in fact, it is so pure. I see where they're coming from. Okay, and my teacher agreed with me. So I'm happy that that is what I experience, the realization, what I see is valid. Yeah. So I strongly recommend No, I shouldn't say that. Okay. So deeply hidden reality would be the subtle workings of the karma that not only you cannot see, you cannot even think it out. You can only rely on authority. But we also understand that the more we understand emptiness, remember I said the more we understand emptiness, then this deeply hidden reality will become a hidden reality where you're able to think it out. You can use logic to establish their existence, help you to see it when you're able to see the connection between your seed planting action and seed planting result. Yeah, Angela, yes, I do. I don't know. Maybe I hear from somewhere they say no, but my experience, I don't know. Maybe I truly experienced that myself. Because I kind of like see the subtle impermanence. You because of hours of meditation, deep meditation, and you're withdrawn from everything. You have no contact with the outside people, one person, a room, you don't look at another person, you cannot talk, you just meditate. Yeah, I cannot say I meditate so many hours, I'm really focused, but it helps me to go inwards, and then you see the subtle impermanence of yourself, how nothing lasts more than a second. You see your own subtle impermanence. But also understand the emptiness, okay? Not only just do that and also do this one. Okay, and we know that the three realities is not the three realities in itself and by itself. It depends on to whom. Okay, who see it? The blind person may see the color. Can they see color? It is a hidden reality for them, but it's an obvious reality for me. So to whom? That is for chapter 2. Okay. Chapter 3, we learn the 5 situations which are not valid perception. We go into the definition. What is valid perception? Fresh, unmistaken state of mind. Fresh, unmistaken state of mind. And so there are 5 situations that are not valid perception. Lock shade, you see completely wrong. You roll the boat, you see the tree going the other direction. Driving under drugs. Okay, yeah, drugs under influence of drugs or alcohol, right? Mental afflictions, you're so crazy, your mind, like you are so jealous, your mind can talk you into seeing something that is not there. You're so angry that your mind you're so affected that you cannot see things straight. Or you're so sick, or you're already crazy, okay? Or in the dream, those are not valid perception. Lokshe, that is totally, completely wrong. Tu tesong, doubt. When you have doubt, that is not valid perception. 3, when it's a memory, okay, is it called chise? Let me see. Yeah, recollection. Memory is not valid perception because it's very weak compared to original perception, direct perception. The perception that is triggered by a direct object is different. Like now I'm seeing you compared to if I close my eye and think of, oh, the class just now, who I just now was talking to, Raymond. No, that is different, recollection. So that is not a valid perception. Yichu, assumption. And I made a lot of assumption. I just recognize that, oh, I make assumption all the time. Yeah, always assumption. And the last one will be distracted. Just distracted. Maybe I'm holding the phone, somebody talking to me. By understanding the 5 helps me to see that, wow, how much of my perceptions are valid? There's a big question mark now. Wow, the limitation. I can see the limitation.
in, what you call that, huh? I see the limitation, right? I can't really say that I'm correct now. I cannot say that I'm correct. And that I think helps a lot. Then you will be not really like very sure that I'm completely correct, and you want to like fight your way, or how to say, like you're not happy with somebody, and then you think you're 100% correct, and you're so strong in your own stand, right? Yeah. So now you can stop. You can see, oh, why the other person? Maybe I'm not right. Maybe I'm not completely right. I don't have all the information. If I have all the information, maybe I would have. Maybe what he said is correct. Yeah. And that is very useful, so that we have good relationship with the people around us, and we'll be happier. And we also talk about the higher middle way and the way of looking at things. We never have correct perception. We can have valid perception, but not correct perception. Who have correct perception? Technically speaking, only a Buddha has valid and correct perception. But we also know that a person who sees emptiness directly, coming out of the direct perception of emptiness for a good period of time, the Arya, the person is called Arya, they know that they have Sema, and they know they are correct, and they have the realization on the four Arya truth, and they have an incredible effect on their mind. But remember, an Arya is not Buddha. Okay, they are not Sema Kebu. They still have the things. That's why we have path number 4. They still need to go through the path of habituation to clean their mind, and then they're on their way out of samsara. And what is important from here would be they ask us to prove whether the 3 objects exist or not. Nirvana, omniscience, and the path. So that was very difficult for me when I was a student. I don't even know what they're talking about. It was so I don't have the good seats to hear all these things. Maybe somebody will get the good seats. They listen, then they immediately understand. Okay. I don't have the good seats for that. Okay. And I find it, I cannot understand, not a single thing. I say, I don't know why I want to learn all these things. So I don't have a way how to study by preparing this one. I see the difficulty, and I start to relearn, and I find that how to prove that would be to group the 3 things. What are they exactly? What is this nirvana? So we go back to the definition. Nirvana is the permanent cessation of mental afflictions, obstacles in their entirety due to one's individual analysis. Basically, it means at the end of all negative emotion. The state of mind, no more negative emotion, right? So is that something that I can see with my eyes or not? Cannot, right? So I group that under hidden reality. The omniscient is a mind that can see everything. Where is the mind? I cannot see that. So it's a hidden reality for me. Then what about the path? When you talk about the path, always like you do this, then you get this. So I kind of like put the path under deeply hidden reality. Of course, if you put under hidden reality, I won't say you're wrong. I'm not a Buddha. Probably you're right also. Okay. Anyhow, there's something I cannot see with my eyes. So from there, I ask myself, how can I establish? How can I establish whether they exist or not? Remember, we say you can have 2 kinds of sema, direct, right? Direct perception. Can I directly perceive? No, I cannot. Maybe somebody can. Who can? Buddha can. Then, for me, I need to use deductive valid perception. I need to use deductive reasoning. Okay, I need to use deductive reasoning, true deductive reasoning, true airtight reasoning, through the logical statement, through the 3 parts. I prove to myself that nirvana can exist, omniscience can exist, and therefore the path can exist. right? I just proved two only lah, the nirvana and the omniscient. We went through that one, right? So the logical statement, the three parts. The three apply to one, okay? If three, then two. If not two, then not three. Deductive reasoning. There are three types of deductive reasoning, right? We learn. One, airtight reasoning, which is the one that we are doing. Airtight reasoning, logical statement. Okay, airtight reasoning. Two, you can have deductive reasoning based on authority. Okay, based on belief. I have a deductive reasoning that I can rely on the authority. How to do that? That is the next chapter, isn't it? That's why we go into how can I rely on the authority? So I need to use some deductive reasoning. Correct? I need to prove to myself, right? Yeah, I prove to myself. Wait, how can I prove? How can I rely on authority? What he says is correct. How I know he's correct? You tell me correct, correct. Okay, how I know? So that is where this chapter will lead to the next chapter. Okay, just like I said, deductive reasoning. Three ways. One, you can have deductive reasoning through logical reasoning, airtight reasoning. Number one, yeah, the one playing with the three parts in the logical statement. Two, through belief in the authority. That is something I'm going to continue and talk about that later. Number three, through convention, logical reasoning by convention. Everybody say that there's Buddha. Sure, got Buddha long. Okay. Everybody say must do good, must keep my morality, then you have a good life, then it's correct law by convention. But there's a limitation to that, right? Yeah. Sometimes I say, yeah, but if sometimes the situation, you can lie if nobody know about that. So that's also convention. Convention means generally accepted, agreed by the society, by your community, yeah, by your country. Yeah. So those by convention, generally accepted, have a lot of limitation. Okay. Yeah, from young I say, do good. Sorry, Chinese a bit, 做好人有好报, something like that. Do good, then you have a good result. I say, yeah, there's a deductive reason. Everybody say that, you grew up with that, okay? Keep our morality, do good, But what is the limitation? The limitation is sometimes people will say, sorry, Chinese again, 你做厨艺，我做15, means that if you are bad to me, then it's okay for me to be bad to you. You see, so all this thing is convention. So the convention got a lot of limitation. Recognize the limitation, and therefore, if we truly, through the logical reasoning, then we will have a strong basis why we choose certain behavior. People not good to me. Is it okay for me not to be good to the person? The person betray me. Is it okay for me to betray back to the person? No, because we know, right? We go through the logical reasoning. We are learning all these things that helps us to understand why we cannot do the same thing to another person. So it helps us to choose our behavior. By convention, another one would be by convention. Maybe like I grew up, there's a future life. But when life is hard, who cares about the future? I care about right now, okay? Right now. Okay. Right now, if I can lie, I lie first. I want to get the thing that I want first. So that is by convention. Chapter 3. That is chapter 3. I say chapter 3 lead to chapter 4. Oh yeah, chapter 3, one more very important. We learn Sema Kebu. Okay, Sema Kebu. We say is a Buddha. Sema Kebu is a person who has valid perception, and their valid perception all the time. They only have valid perception, and their valid perception all the time. And therefore, they are correct. And therefore, they only speak Sema. And they have a primary connotation that somebody who cannot lie, a being that cannot lie. If there's a being who cannot lie, they have valid perception all the time, Yeah, can I rely on authority? Yes. So it built up from there. Maybe you say, no lah, how I know he has, you say he got valid perception all the time. How I know he's got valid perception all the time? What kind of valid perception he have? So they continue. What we are discussing here will bring to the next chapter. All these things will help us to have the logical reasoning that will build up for us to be able to rely on the authority. We come to the conclusion ourselves. Okay, so chapter 4, build up from there, Sema Kebu, they start off with talking about being of a totally correct person, Sema Kebu, what kind of things that they see, what kind of object that they see. They say they see what? They see the past, present, and future. They see everything in their conventional nature and in their ultimate nature. They see everything, all the things as they are, and all the things that there is, and all the things as they are. So means that their conventional nature and their ultimate nature. No, that is so big. I cannot wrap my mind. I can only memorize, man. What is that kind of thing? I don't know. You can see everything, all existing things. Wow. Not only all existing things, but also past, present, and future. What is that? Past, present, and future all running at the same time. And he see it directly, not memory. He see it fresh. That's why the keyword is fresh. He see fresh, not based on memory, and he see it directly, not based on logic. And he see that simultaneously. Wow, if there is some being who can be like that now, well, I think, if if there is really such a being, maybe I can rely on the authority. I think I can rely on the authority. Yeah, and yet, Lord Buddha say what? Take my word only after you have done the test, the 3 tests, Chepasum. Test it like a gold. Melt it, cut it, and rub it. So you go through the 3 tests to have it's a deductive reasoning, right? For you to see for yourself, he's an authority. I can rely on this being. So what are the 3 tests? What he say cannot be disproved by my own direct experience. Cannot disprove. So he taught us the 4 area truth. So the first area truth, everything is suffering. This life is suffering. Okay. We have suffering, just headache, body ache, my body pain, right? Mental affliction, the suffering of change. Things change, happy things end, nice things end. Eventually we lost, maybe we have a broken relationship, some happy moments are gone. They're just not satisfied in a way, right? Things change. And suffering, pervasive suffering, we have grow old and get sick, and then eventually we all see that death. We see death around us. So that's obviously suffering. I can confirm it myself. Yeah. So what he say, he teaches the Arya truth number 1, that everything is suffering. Can I disprove that or not? I cannot disprove. I cannot disprove what he say. I cannot cancel what he say. Second thing, can it be disproved by airtight reasoning or not? Cannot be cancelled by airtight reasoning. I can say, consider this life. It is suffering because I can see people dying, people growing old and die, and see sickness. So you play around with that one. And the last one, there's no inconsistency in what he taught us. No inconsistency, but seems to be But J. Tsongkhapa said, if you study deep enough, you study really long enough, study deeply, you will know that there's no inconsistency. But anyway, we go through the 3 rules. Just now is a 3 tests, now is a 3 rules to see for ourselves whether there's any inconsistency or not. He said, kill your father and your mother. But then, he also taught us Vinaya. So seems to be inconsistency. So we want to check. Did he speak literally? Did he really mean it that way, the words? Or did he speak figuratively? Means that you have to figure out the meaning. That is not exactly what he means. So we use the 3 rules. Number 1. If there's a contradiction, everything that he said contradict what makes sense to me, what I know. What he taught us to not to hurt people, to do good. Then suddenly now he asking me to kill my father and mother. Right. So there's a contradiction. Number 2. So if there is contradiction, means that he's not speaking literally, he's speaking figuratively. 2. What he really mean then? What is his true intention? Okay, what he really mean? What is his true intent? Oh, he wants us not to be attached. Then just say not to be attached lah. Why say kill your father and mother? But he has a compelling need. 3. There's a compelling need. He's actually speaking to a group of ordained people, and he can see that those people, their spiritual progress is not progressing so good. They are being their spiritual progress is being hold down. Let me see what is the word. There's their attachment is holding them back from their spiritual progress. Their attachment is holding them back from their spiritual progress. And so he wants to say something that really shocked them, that really make them wake up, so that they will not forget. I will not forget, you remember forever. I find that Buddha is also like parent, isn't it? Sometimes we say something like that to our kid also, isn't it? Sometimes I don't know the old saying that we say, don't beat your kid all the time. One time you give them give them the hard one, then they'll remember something like that, make them wake up. So I think Buddha is doing the same thing. Okay, to wake them up, so they'll remember, they won't forget. Okay, so that is chapter 4. Chapter 4 helps us to establish that whether we can rely on the authority or not. Remember the 3 reality, the deeply hidden reality, we say we have to rely on authority. So can I rely on authority? So the deductive reasoning, one of them is belief on authority. Number 2, can I believe on the authority? So I go through all these things and I come to the conclusion myself, Sema Kebu, someone who got valid perception all the time. You can see all the kind of objects. And I go through the 3 tests. 3 tests. And the 3 rules. I think I can rely on the authority. You come to the conclusion. So whether is that the authority is somebody that I can rely. If I say, yeah, I can rely on the authority because they are correct. They don't tell lies. They are correct. They're omniscient. If they're omniscient, they can see everything and they have valid perception of everything. And they only speak Sema. Obviously, what they say is something is correct that I can rely. You come to the logical reasoning yourself. Okay, so that's how you link chapter 3 to chapter 4. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is we go further and understand what is this thing about omniscience. How can they help me? Okay, how can they help me? I want to rely on them. How can they help me? Okay, omniscience. So we go and understand what is this omniscience. We say omniscience is the mind that can see everything, right? We learn chapter 4. They can see everything, past, present, and future, can see all objects, right? The omniscient. So we want to now categorize all existing things into changing thing and unchanging thing. So they can see changing thing and unchanging thing. So we say, we try to understand this omniscient mind. Is this omniscient mind changing? The omniscient mind, the mind itself, is it changing or unchanging? If the mind that can see changing thing and unchanging thing, then this omniscient mind, if I have an omniscient mind, is my omniscient mind changing or unchanging? We say that it has to be changing. Why? Because you see, of all the things that you see, you also see changing thing. And when you see changing thing, okay, your mind perceive the changing thing, your mind have to move and change with the changing things that you perceive. And therefore, my mind have to be, my omniscient mind is changing. Okay, fair and fine. Good. Then we go and understand further. What about if this omniscient mind see things that are unchanging thing, then is my mind unchanging then? Then they say, no, it is still changing. Why? Because the nature of the mind is the mind engage with the object and withdraw from it, flitting back and forth like the fly. Remember I mentioned about the fly? And therefore, omniscient mind is a changing thing, even though you are perceiving an unchanging thing. Okay? And you appreciate better if you also understand the nature of the mind first. The nature of the mind is like the mirror. Okay? The mind is clear and aware. Clear and aware. Okay, so the mind take on the quality of the thing that you perceive. The mind just reflect what is being presented. The mind reflect what is presented. So if we say omniscient mind, it's a mind is like a big mirror that reflect everything that is presented. And from there, we have this, somebody will come and say, actually, chapter 5, you can study in detail, is very important. I realize chapter 5, that talk about changing thing and unchanging thing, even though it looks very dry, is the key also to understand Chi Chedra. Because I don't know whether did you watch Kashila explain in one of the SCIM, he got answer in the Q&A. Yeah. Sometimes we are, then I find that is helpful, the understanding of changing thing and unchanging thing. It is in chapter 5. So basically, changing thing would be like things that we know, okay, changing, nobody need to, we know changing, yeah, they vary, they change. Okay, if changing thing, they vary, they change, the energy move, right? The energy fluctuate. Why the energy fluctuate? Because it is doing something. Any functioning thing, any working thing is a changing thing. And changing thing has a cause. Changing thing has a cause. It is a caused thing. And whereas unchanging thing, take note of the chart. I really like the chart now. Okay. Unchanging thing come in and out of existence. When I have the pen, the emptiness of my pen is here. There's an emptiness of my pen. But when my pen is gone, is destroyed, then emptiness of that mind, of that pen is gone. It come into existence and go out of existence. And then now we have the emptiness of the destroyed pen. Can you understand? So the emptiness of the pen come into existence and go out of existence. If the thing is here, then the emptiness of the pen is here. The emptiness of me. Let's give another example. I want to repeat the same thing. This is my pen, my red pen. The emptiness of my pen. There's an emptiness of my red pen. 100%. There's no 20%, 30%. That's why, remember the graph is the line is like that, right? What is that called? Horizontal? Horizontal line. Is it horizontal? This is vertical, right? Horizontal line. But it is not permanent. It is unchanging, but not permanent. Okay. But let's say now I destroy my red pen. This red pen is destroyed. The emptiness of this one, the red pen, gone, 100% gone, zero. There's no more emptiness. But there's the emptiness of the destroyed pen. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Okay. I find that chapter 5 got a lot of things like, yeah, not so useful thing, but those are the basic for the chi chakra also. They build up from there. Then comes somebody say that, there's a supreme being. There's a supreme being, or maybe you call it your God or whatever, who is omniscient. My supreme being is omniscient and is unchanging from day one. Yeah. Is it possible to create the world? My supreme being who is omniscient, that can see everything, that create the universe, is unchanging from day one. So we say, no way, no way. What a joke. Y'all, these are unchanging from day one. Unchanging thing cannot see changing thing, right? If your mind cannot be unchanging when you are perceiving things that are changing. An omniscient mind see everything, remember? See everything, including changing and unchanging. By perceiving changing thing, my mind have to move and change with the changing of the object that I perceive. And therefore, cannot be unchanging. They say, okay. Then it is a changing. My supreme being, who is an omniscient that can see everything, that create the world, is changing from day one. That is where we are stuck, right? Many people ask this question. Yeah. Can it be unchanging from day one? Okay, if it is unchanging, remember we go back to unchanging. Unchanging thing. Sorry, I rephrased. He said that it's a changing thing, right? He turned around and said it's a changing thing. Can the omniscient being, the one who can see everything, is a changing thing from day one? He's changing from day one. If he's a changing thing from day one, what is changing thing? Things change, vary, and they have causes, right? Changing things have causes. Things change because they got causes. They are costing, and they are being caused. Changing thing. They have causes. And if they have causes themselves, they also come from causes, then they cannot be omniscient from day one. Because you also come from causes. How can you be omniscient, let alone omnipotent? Because you're also coming from causes. So you cannot be omniscient from day one. Okay, so then we say, then where the world come from? We can see that the world, what in stages? The world is, what is the word now? We see the word now. You can see that the world come in stages. What is that word? The world is made in stages. I'm very careful about the words that I use, okay? As far as I could, I don't want to use other words. I always believe that there's a reason why they use certain words, okay? So, but we can see the world is made in stages, right? You can see, the different era, now different, the world is made in stages. So that proved that the world cannot be made by an omnipotent being, a creator. If there is a creator, then just create it once and for all, perfect being, happy being, make me perfect. Yeah. So I won't go into the discussion for that. You can think about that yourself. And then where they come from. So we memorize the verse, Lele jikten nak sok kie, de ni, what is that already? Lele jikten nak sok kie, de ni dang sempa, de j. Let me see correct or not. De lele jikten nak sok kie, de ni sempa dang de j. Yeah. Means that the multitude of world that we see come from our karma. And karma is the movement of the mind and what it motivates us to do and say. Okay, so we are not finished yet with chapter 5. It's very heavy. Then they say, then what is the purpose of an omniscient? How can the omniscient being help me? So omniscient being is not enough to know all the things, to see everything. You know also what? How can they help me? Okay. It's not enough to see everything in the world, to know every atoms, to know all the scientific names, can see very far. Okay. So to be an omniscient, to know all means that you know what I need to give up and what I need to take up. What I need to give up and take up in my worldview and behavior. Why? Because that will help me to be free from suffering and help me to be happy. Okay, that only can help me. Because the only way the Buddha can help us, not just know all. What is the point in know all, but you cannot help me, right? You know all, but you also care about me. And you care about me, you want to help me by, you have the power to help me by teaching me. The only way the omniscient can help us is by teaching us. Teaching us the 4 Arya truth, remember? The 4 Arya truth, what to give up will be the afflicted side of existence, which is the Arya truth number 1 and 2. Suffering and cause of suffering is what we need to give up. And what we need to take up will be the pure side of existence, which is the truth number 3 and 4, cessation and the path. Yeah. That is how they can help us. We say the Buddha know all. They know everything, but they also care about us. No point if there's a being that know everything, but don't care about us, okay? So what is the point if you care about us, but you cannot help us? So they must have the power to help us. They have the power to help us by teaching us what we need to give up and what we need to take up. And I hope you can bring that to your meditation every day. I take refuge every day thinking about that. Every day, yeah. Think about that, what you want me to give up and what I need to take up. Okay, so he is teaching us what we need to give up and what I need to take up, and how I know he's correct. He's unerring. Unerring means that he is correct, right? How I know he's unerring, I can confirm myself from the first Arya truth number 1 that he teach me about life, the nature of this life. Then I can confirm from my own experience, so I can know that he's correct. I can confirm from my own direct experience. Okay, that's end the chapter 5. Chapter 5 is very, very heavy, very, very difficult. Chapter 6, not heavy, but very confusing on it. Okay, chapter 6. But finally I get the hang of it. I'm so happy. So anytime now I know already because I studied there for so long. Okay, now we go to chapter 6. Is the four reasoning of the forward order. If you remember that from the beginning, they asked us to memorize. I bow down to the one who turned correct, who help all being, teacher, the one gone to bliss, and our protector. So we want to prove that these four reasonings of the forward order. How I know that Lord Buddha is correct. So the reasoning of protector. Okay, the reasoning of the protector, that's number one. How I know it's correct? Because he's our protector. It doesn't seem to make sense at all, so we need explanation for that. Protector here means that teaching us the four Arya truth. And by teaching us the four Arya truth, he protects us by teaching us the four Arya truth. Remember, the only way that he can help us, can protect us, is to teach us the four Arya truth. And the first Arya truth is about the nature of this life is suffering, and I can confirm it myself from my own direct experience, and therefore I can say that he is correct. That is the first one. The second one is the reasoning that the reasoning of having gone to bliss. How I know that he's a protector? Because he has gone to bliss. What? Okay, how do I know he's a protector? Because he has gone to bliss. Gone to bliss here means that he has get rid of all his bad qualities and realize all things. And therefore give him ability to protect us. Imagine if somebody who still have bad quality, then how are you going to help another person, right? There's a limit to how we can help another person. If the person is still so mentally afflicted, can go crazy, can yell at people, got a lot of problem. I got a lot of problem myself, then how to help? Yeah, there's a limitation to that. So you start to see the relationship. Okay, because he has gone to bliss, means that he has get rid of all his bad quality and realize all things, means that know everything, and therefore he give him the ability to protect us, which makes sense now. And then the reasoning of the teacher. How I know that he has gone to bliss? Because he's a teacher, he's our teacher. He's a teacher, he means teacher of emptiness. Teacher of emptiness, he teach emptiness. And he confirmed it with his own experience. He practiced that and he perfect, and he reached that state of perfection. And therefore lead him to get rid of all his bad quality. Yeah. And therefore he can protect us. And the reasoning of great compassion. Why is he a teacher? Because he has great compassion. Because he has great compassion, he teaches us emptiness. Out of compassion, he wants to help us. He teaches emptiness, and he himself has confirmed it from his own direct perception. He has practiced it, and he has reached that state of perfection, and therefore he can get rid of all his negative quality and gone to bliss, and therefore give him the ability to protect us. Okay, if it doesn't make sense to you, okay, you have to refer back to the circle. And how I remember that, I can show you my own notes. These are not from the teacher, okay? I have to say how I remember that. Is I have this picture in my mind. Okay, I need to have this picture in my mind.
Okay, I bow down to the one who turned correct, who helped all being, the teacher, the one gone to bliss, and our protector. So I say, how I know that he has turned correct? Because he's our protector, the reasoning of protector. Can you see that now? How I know he's a protector? The reasoning of gone to bliss, because he has gone to bliss. How I know he has gone to bliss? Because he is the reasoning of teacher. Okay, why is he a teacher? The reasoning because he want to help all beings. Or help all beings, he also means great compassion. With this picture in my mind, I am able to recite it and do it. I was struggling very hard, I tell you, for so long. And finally, finally I get it. I watched so many recordings. I went for the teacher training. It sounds to me like, I don't know, I can memorize, but I don't know how to explain to the student, you see. But once I look at it that way, wow, it finally makes sense to me already. Finally makes sense. So it will take time, but you have the material. When you're ready, you can just go back and watch recording 6 with your material in hand, and I'm sure that it can help you. It seems not important at all, isn't it? This reasoning, this 4 reasoning of forward order to what is it for, But apparently from here, from this phrase alone, is the secret that shows us how we can become a Buddha. All the secret message is there. I never appreciate that until myself doing it many, many times. Then only I finally appreciate that slightly more. Because I have to do it with my students, we have to meditate. Oh my God, all these things. Yeah. Finally, now I'm so happy. Anytime if people ask me, I have that in my mind already, at my fingertips. Hopefully, it still stay after 1 year later. Okay. And that lead to the second part of chapter 6. Chapter 6, remember, second part of that. Remember just now, the last one we talked about the great compassion. Is that why is he a teacher? Because of the reasoning of great compassion, right? So the great compassion, second part, we only talk about compassion, the different types of compassion. Okay. So the first one, the compassion is a normal compassion. Oh, so pitiful. I don't want that person to be suffering. That means just compassion. Yeah. Compassion for people to be free from common suffering, normal suffering. Then the next one will be they talk about the great compassion. The great compassion will be you want people to be free from all suffering, means samsara, everything, samsara. And it can be Hinayana or Mahayana. Hinayana means that, oh, I want everybody, how I wish they are free from all suffering. Mahayana, I take responsibility. Laksam namdak. I'm going to take personal responsibility. I'm going to make a commitment to become a Buddha, so that I can really help people in the deep and ultimate way. Because only I can really help them. Other than that, I can blah, blah, blah. I think I can help them, but it backfire. The person don't appreciate. Yeah. Then the person talk bad about me. Then I get more negative emotion. Okay. So, Laksam number, take personal responsibility. I'm going to make a commitment and I want to become a Buddha. I want to reach this state of being that is perfect with the 4 bodies, ACI 2, the 4 body, ACI 1 as well, the 4 bodies. If I have these bodies, it's different. This body that don't have this samsaric organ that will die, go old, get sick. I have this perfect body, not only for myself, and then I can even emanate, become the thing that will help bring the person up, whether as a pet, whether as a child, whether as a companion, whether as an irritating partner, in any form that will help people. It's only through that you can really help them. My teacher always say that. Yeah, and I see that now.
And chapter 6, the last part 3 is very important. It's about the Chavaka school. Chavaka, yeah, the ancient school, Hindu school in India. And that leads us to chapter 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the Chavaka said, that sounds good, compassion, good, but no way you can nurture compassion. That will take years and years and years to nurture. Because when your body died, your mind also died. So he gives 3 reasons. The Chavaka school give 3 reasons. They say, when the body died, the mind died because, number 1, the mind is a quality of the body. Now, by the time we study 7, 8, 9, we say, no way, we can argue back already, right? We can debate. It's not a quality. Remember, the mind, clear and aware. Clear and aware. It's not like the physical thing. Physical thing is something that you can touch, you can cut, you can hold, you can measure, you can locate. Right? But the mind is different. Clear and aware. 2, they say that the mind is dependent on the body, like the design on the wall. Does the mind depend on the body? So you say that, if you lose 20%, you damage 20% of your sense power. Do you also damage 20% of your mind, or you lose your mind? So it's we can debate them also. And number 3, they say the mind is a result of the body. Is the mind the result of the body? No. We will say whether it's enlightenment or not. So we go through a lot of discussion on that. Okay, that sums up our chapter 6. Okay, chapter 7 and 8, I combine them. No, chapter 7 is Kedruk J, cannot combine. 7 is Kedruk J's way through the process of elimination. You eliminate the tree of possibility, eliminate. Remember the tree of possibility. You come to see where the mind comes from. Chapter 7, yeah, the tree of possibilities. But before that, he mentioned about the Ngelen Gigyu, very, very important concept. What is Ngelen Gigyu? The stuff that flop over into the result. It's not the kiana, and therefore the result must resemble the cause. The result must resemble the cause, and the result must come from something similar before it. So the tree of possibility, let's look at the tree of possibility. Yeah, so we look at all existing things, right? Then we say, hey, can the mind come from unchanging thing? No way, right? We already talked about that, so I won't go into this. What about changing thing? Okay, changing can have the physical thing or the mental thing. The physical thing can further divide into physical living thing, sense power, and outside matter. Then we see, is it from all the 5? If from all the 5, then if the blind who lose their eyes, who lose their eyesight, should lose their mind also, but that is not the case. Then anyone, okay, then is it come from the eye? If come from the eye, then the mind should be able to see clearly like the eye. As the eye, the mind. If I close my eye, I should be able to see clearly Sister Jaslyn. But that is not true. The result, it does not resemble the cause at all. So this one I cross out. Then outside matter, all 4 elements, Sachu Melong. Okay, if all the Sachu Melong, all the 4 together, do I create a mind? I create a mind. No? That is not the case. Okay, or did I, or maybe come from only one of the element? We see the result doesn't resemble the cause. Remember the Ngelen Gigyu? Sachu Melong. So we go through that. It doesn't resemble at all. So we cross out that one. Then it come from, is it from my own mind, from my mind, or from others' mind? Oh, I thought it's coming from my parents' mind. But doesn't resemble. We talk about twins, right? Isu talk about twins that they don't resemble, can have twins come who born from the same parents, but they're so different. Or the child can be so different from the parent. Maybe the child is autistic, but the parent is so intelligent. Okay. Or the other way around. I have parents who are doctors, both parents, but the son is autistic. Yeah. Or the other way around. So that is chapter 7, okay? Then chapter 8. Chapter 8 and 9. Okay, chapter 8 and 9. So basically summarize the first 6 proof into these 3 reasons. Chapter 8 and chapter 9 from Master Dharmakirti. He give 10 proof. 6 from chapter 8 and 4 from chapter 9. Okay, so he give 6 reasons from Master Dharmakirti gives 6 reasons, and all the 10 reasons are based on Nyalen Gigyu. Okay, so I quickly go through the first one. Okay, what is the first one? They always say, look at the baby, right? The baby born got 3 things. Was that chapter 9? No, that one is chapter 8. Chapter 8. Look at the 3 things. They got what is that? Reading. Then you have the sense power. These 2 we say is a living thing. And then the functioning mind, the mind already can react, can cry, can be anxious. So consider these 3. They cannot not come from something not similar because the baby have it now. So then number 2. Then they consider the 4 elements, right? Consider the same 3 things. They cannot come from the 4 elements because they have to come from something similar before it. So the 1 and 2 can kind of like sum up in this one, A, the 3 reasons why the 3 characteristics cannot come from the elements. Can sum up from which one? C, yeah. Then proof number 3 and 4 more. I like to group them under this one. Yeah. Consider, yes.
Can you explain the A? A, a bit contradicting. A.
Okay. So this one be okay. A, anytime you combine the elements or had an element alone, the mind would arise. Okay, they say 3 reasons why the 3 things that we talk about, right, cannot come from the elements. Because if it is that anytime you combine the elements or anytime you have an element alone, then the mind will arise.
So it's linked to the 3 element, the 3 reasons, the 3 characteristics.
Yeah, okay. We look at this one, proof number 5 again. We look at proof number 5. Where is proof number 5? This is 6. This is 5. I think Emerald also asked this question also on this proof number 5. Okay. Take the elements. Take the elements. They are not the cause of the 3. The beginning when we look at the baby, right? The baby got these 3 things that we observe. Take the elements. They are not the cause. The elements, they are not the cause. Because there should never be cases where the elements fail to cause the 3. Isn't it clear? No? I thought it's quite clear to me. I don't know. So long you understand that, maybe it's the English that they use, because there should never be the cases where the elements fail to cause the 3.
Yeah, this one is an English word lah.
Yeah, it's the English word lah. You know, so long you understand, you can write in a different word, okay? You don't have to copy and write exactly like the word here. The elements are the kian. Yes, that's what Zane is saying, is a kian. Okay, you can have the elements. They are there. You can see them, but they are not the
The
nyan and
material,
gigyu.
that's the material.
Yeah. If they are, you can have the elements, and then you will have a mind.
Mm.
But that is not the case, ma. Correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, like, I think it's
Okay.
the sentence.
It's the English lah, you know. So long you understand, okay, you can write, you can say, oh, take the elements, they are not the cause of the tree, because if they are, then the elements would when the elements come together, or when the elements are there, a mind should be created, which is not the case. You know, you can write in a way,
Oh,
so
yeah.
long you are able to understand, you can use a different word, that's fine. Okay?
Okay, can.
Emerald, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. And I didn't manage to go into chapter 9. I will keep chapter 9 and 10 for next week. Next week I have to finish. I might not go into chapter 9. Okay, I assume that you would be okay. If you're not, you can type, ask the questions. Okay, so I'll go into chapter 10 next week. Next week I think will be our final class. Next week is it our final class? I think so. Yeah. Most probably we will not have a review.
Hey, I thought 2 more class.
2 more class?
Don't know, like, last one already.
17.
I thought
24th, we are supposed to have a class, but we are having the 5 houses review. Those who attend the 5 houses review, they are having the retreat, and I overlooked that because that time the date is not out yet. Yeah, we'll see the how.
Are you going to Arizona?
I wanted to, but I didn't.
This time quite a lot from Singapore and Malaysia.
Yeah, right. I rejoice because it's the first time, the 5 house, a lot of people going there. Maybe next year. That's all next year. Okay.
But 7 April is also the land rim course, right? Miss Right?
17 is Arizona time.
17.
Will be 18 for our time. So 17
okay.
will still be available.
Yeah.
That means,
thanks for asking. And let me see the question here. Let me look at Angela. Angela said, I always heard people want to go Nirvana. Why? Why? You tell me why. I don't know. Next week you tell me why.
I don't know. I spelled correctly now because this word is so popular use, commonly used. So I don't know whether Nirvana and mental efficient, is it the same thing as what they always say?
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Nirvana. Nirvana. Nirvana.
Oh, so it's different one. Nirvana. Yes.
I assume that it's the same Nirvana. Isn't it the same Nirvana? Are you talking about the same Nirvana? I only know one Nirvana. I don't know there's another Nirvana.
No, because I always have people say, I want to go Nirvana. I want to go Nirvana. Like you are talking about.
You become an arhat more if you are the Hinayana. Yeah, that is objective, the goal, Nirvana. Permanent cessation, no more烦恼, no more negative emotion, good, right? But if you can bring your motivation higher, then you go for Buddhahood.
I see. Last time when I young, I thought Nirvana is a Guanyin land, of pure land there.
Yeah. We always, we don't want to go to pure land, recite
the place, I don't know.
To me, last time when I was young, I always thought Nirvana is just a paradise, a heaven, things like that, you know. Yeah. Okay, I look at the time, 10 o'clock. We can continue to talk about this after they stop the recording. Okay, it's all fine. If you need to go, you can go. Oh, thank you so much. I hope the review helped you. Okay, I wanted to show the slide, but not enough time. I go like a speed train too fast. I apologize if it is too fast. And let me look at this one. Wait, Lynn said we study about material cause, condition in Abhidhamma school. This is logic school.
Quyên đọc bao nhiêu trang sách đó hả?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we learning
Bài
about the idea of the Abhidhamma.
15 chia 3
Yes. About material
15 trang.
cause and condition.
Whether we learn about material cause or condition in Abhidhamma school, I'm not the best person to answer you.
Thì
You have to ask standing in the mixed nut.
2, 75
I don't know the
bài
whole
chia 3
text.
bằng 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 nhân 3 bằng 6.
And
16, 1,
I think
15
it's
chia
a
3 bằng
higher school.
là
Yes. Diamond Way. We just say it's come from outside.
You mean the
Tập trung
difference
vào
with the
cái
higher school?
Yes. I want. I
Very
want to
good
know that.
questions. Okay. You see, we try not to mix them, but if you want to know, I can share a little bit on my thoughts on that. Okay. We learn logic school, right? Logic school. We will say that material cause is the thing that flop over, right? Right. This one is this one, right? But if you want to relate to higher school, we try not to mix them. But for me, I will look at it this way. Remember higher school, we say everything coming from us, from our projection, right? Seeds ripening. So I would say that this material cause that flop over is also coming from my seeds. My seeds for this material cause, my seeds for this thing to become the result. Can you see that or not? Yeah. It is a projection from me for this material cause and for this result. Yeah. And we will do chapter 10, very interesting, that will talk about the wheel of life, right? And how the link 8 and 9 trigger. So I like to look at it like I have a seed, link number 2, right? Then my desire, my craving, all these things is the factor that make this thing flop into this thing. Then material cause is not the ultimate thing, right? Ultimately, it is if you're talking about higher school, I'm not the best person to answer all these things, okay? But I try what I can. Right.
I think we should cook this again and again.
Yeah, you have to go again. For logic school, you have this thing go into this thing. Yeah, this cause go into this result, this go into this one, like A, B, C, D, E, like that, Yeah, but okay, good night, you may go. Yeah, if you want to go, you feel free to go. And
Teacher Rach, can I ask? Can I ask?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, you want to stop the recording, you can go first. I know that